Welcome to the Beyond the Books channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most beloved stories in children's literature, Charlotte's Web by E.B. White. We'll be exploring some advanced vocabulary, the heart-wrenching themes of the book, and the fascinating real-life history of how this story came to be. In Chapter 1, Early Mornings, we meet Fern Arable. She is a young girl facing a major injustice, an unfair situation or action. Synonyms include unfairness, inequity. When Fern's father, Mr. Arable, moves to kill the runt of a new litter of pigs, Fern yells, "Control yourself!" This is a matter of life and death. Her bravery saves the pig she names Wilbur. Wilbur's early days with Fern were blissful, meaning they were full of extreme happiness and joy. Synonyms are joyful, satisfied, delighted. Wilbur was loved, pampered, and lived in a state of perfect peace. But as Wilbur grows, things are about to change.
In Chapter 3, Wilbur experiences a commotion. That's a state of confused and noisy disturbance. Synonyms include uproar and turmoil. When Wilbur escapes his yard, the cocker spaniel, the cows, and the sheep all start shouting at once. It's total chaos for the little pig. We meet Templeton the rat in Chapter 4. He is described as a glutton, someone who eats much more than they need. Synonyms include overeater, gorger. While Templeton overeats, Wilbur feels dejected, or sad and depressed, because his plans are ruined by rain and he feels like he has no friends in the barn. Synonyms of dejected include gloomy, melancholy. Enter Charlotte, the spider. She explains her bloodthirsty nature is her inheritance, a trait passed down from her ancestors for thousands of years. Synonyms being bequest, legacy. Wilbur initially finds the idea of catching and eating flies objectionable, which means unpleasant or arousing distaste. Synonyms being offensive, obnoxious. As summer arrives, the goose notes that Wilbur is gullible. Because he is young and innocent, he is easily fooled and believes almost anything anyone tells him. Synonyms being susceptible, naive. The mood shifts in Chapter 7 when the old sheep reveals a dark secret. He says the humans are conspiring, making secret, harmful plans to turn Wilbur into smoked ham and bacon by Christmas time. Synonyms are plotting, contriving. Charlotte describes her life as sedentary. Unlike Wilbur, who runs around, she spends most of her time seated and inactive on her web, waiting for her next meal. Synonyms include stationary, dormant. When a rotten egg breaks in the barn, the smell is so strong, the air is vaguely purple. Vaguely means in a way that is uncertain or hard to describe perfectly. Synonyms include slightly and nominally. Charlotte proves she is versatile, meaning she can adapt to many different tasks. She can write words in her web, trap food, and care for her friends, all with the same set of skills. Synonyms include adaptable and flexible. Dr. Dorian suggests that the miracles in the web aren't anomalies or things that deviate from what is normal. He views them as part of nature. Synonyms include exceptions, abnormalities. Meanwhile, White describes Charlotte's unremitting or never-ending effort to save Wilbur through her weaving. Synonyms include continuous and persistent. At the county fair, the weather turns hot. Many of the animals start to languish, growing weak and losing their energy in the sun. Synonyms include weakened and faded. As summer ends, the cricket's song becomes monotonous. It is a dull, repetitive sound that signals the changing seasons. Synonyms include boring, same old, weary. Charlotte creates her egg sac, calling it indispensable. It is absolutely necessary because, without it, her children would not survive the coming winter. Synonyms include needed, essential, integral. In the end, Wilbur feels a sense of desolation, a state of complete emptiness and loneliness, when he realizes Charlotte cannot return to the farm. Synonyms include sadness, melancholy, anguish. We also see the garrulous or excessively talkative nature of the geese throughout the story. Synonyms include excessively talkative, especially on trivial matters. The core of this book is the power of friendship. True friendship is selfless and life-changing. Charlotte saves Wilbur not for a reward, but out of selfless love. Charlotte tells Wilbur, "By helping you, I was lifting up my life a trifle. Heaven knows anyone's life can stand a little of that." This teaches us that being a good friend makes our own lives more meaningful. This power of friendship leads to the theme of acceptance. Wilbur had to look past his prejudice of scary spiders to see Charlotte's true, kind character. Lesson here is don't judge others by their appearance or reputation. The book begins with the birth of Wilbur and ends with the death of Charlotte and the birth of her children. E.B. White doesn't sugarcoat death. He shows it as a natural part of the changing of the seasons. While Charlotte dies, her legacy lives on through her children and the impact she had on Wilbur. Lesson from the book is that change is natural, and ending is part of a beginning. Charlotte works through the night, exhausted, to spin words that praise Wilbur while she remains in the shadows. While Wilbur gets the prize and the attention at the fair, Charlotte is the one who did the work. This teaches us that the most important, indispensable work is often done by people who aren't looking for a trophy. They do it out of love. Lesson is great things are often done quietly and without a need for fame. Dr. Dorian points out that a spider spinning a web is just as much of a miracle as the words written in it. The adults in the story are gullible because they only see the magic words. White wants the reader to be like Fern, to see that a spider's web, a bird's song, or a pig's life is already a miracle without needing a sign. Lesson here is the miracles are all around us if we stop to look. The constant descriptions of the seasons shifting, from the blissful summer days to the monotonous crickets of autumn. E.B. White uses the farm as a clock. This lesson helps children understand that while we might be sad when a summer or a phase of life ends, winter and spring bring their own necessary purposes. Lesson being that change is inevitable, but there is beauty in every stage of life. White wasn't just a writer, he was a farmer. He looked after pigs, sheep, and geese. He once wrote that he felt guilty about raising a pig just to butcher it, which became the emotional seed for Wilbur's story. In 1933, E.B. White bought a farm in Brooklyn, Maine. The barn in the book is a nearly exact replica of his own barn. One day, White watched a large gray spider, an Cavaticus, spin an egg sac in his barn. When he had to leave for a trip, he cut the egg sac down and took it with him in a candy box. Hundreds of spiders hatched from that. White did extensive research. He read books on spider anatomy and behavior because he wanted Charlotte to be scientifically accurate, even if she could talk. It took him 2 years to write the book. He kept destroying earlier drafts to perfect it. White worked closely with illustrator Garth Williams. They struggled with how to draw Charlotte. They didn't want to give her a human face. He decided to make her look like a real spider, giving her beauty through her actions and her eyes. Today, Charlotte's Web remains a classic that teaches us to find beauty in the everyday and to value all creatures. Thank you for joining us at Beyond the Books channel for our look into the vocabulary and themes of Charlotte's Web. Please comment on which book you would like us to look into next.